Views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Welcome back for another edition of the Table Topics today. Another beautiful day.
Yeah, afternoon.
The last day of summer.
Oh, all right.
Big day today.
So. Yeah, big day today.
Big day today.
Yeah,
last day of summer.
Yep.
Jasiel got the sentence today.
Yep.
And election day in Fall River.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
we should have a full show.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, huh? I know.
So what goes first?
You start.
Well, let's start by the conviction of Jasiel. A lot of people, it's surprised that he even got jail time. A lot of people are surprised that he just got what he got.
Yeah.
But what do you think that...
I listened to it today. You know what I mean? When you're working, you hear part of it. I was surprised he didn't get more the way the judge was going at it in the beginning. He kept on making remarks that Jasiel was not remorseful at all, very defiant, and that is true. You know, all through it, he gave Jasiel the opportunity to speak to the court, and he said, I'm abiding by my, by his attorney's wishes because they're apparently going to file an appeal. But yeah, 6 years, I was really surprised. And that was only the way the judge had gone about this, but I guess I really shouldn't have been surprised because he knocked out a bunch of charges that I kind of thought were clear cut. The whole wire fraud thing there, it went from Massachusetts to Rhode Island, the checks, so I was kind of surprised in that sense, but maybe not. It was just the way he kept on pounding that,
And last night, after that happened, I got a few calls. One of the calls was, why did you think this is happening? And well, by what I've been hearing, different lawyers talk about here on local news and everything is the fact that the judge was looking for a clean path, and everything that was loose on the way. That he was afraid that it was going to be an opportunity for them to come back to him.
And,
So, and what I thought was, I probably is not 100% sure on this. Let's take it out of the way because he probably could win that anyway. So let's take that. So that the way I explained to my caller was he's probably trying to get all the losing rocks out of the way. So this way, when he's in full speed for a sentence, he don't have double dots, about this or about that, and he had cleaned.
This judge definitely gave him the benefit of the doubt numerous times. I think there were a few times he got frustrated because they were trying to say that his defense attorney, Reddington, did not give him proper counsel. So that was he was kind of getting frustrated with that. But yeah, I still was really surprised. And he mentioned his family because, I'm sure this has to be taking a toll on his family.
Yes.
Not to mention, where is this money coming from to have these defenses to go before a federal court? I mean, I can only imagine that his family is kind of, had to put up money for this. I don't think he has that kind of money working at the restaurant he's working at. So, it's a sad story all the way around, but I don't know. I think people like to look at that if you are remorseful, or you're sorry that this whole thing, just sorry about your whole family having to go through this. You know what I mean? Just that. There was nothing there. Yes. And I think that's what aggravated the attorney. And he even, the judge even said, I'm not convinced that he won't do this again.
Yes.
So it's So I understand. It was kind of the whole defiant thing there.
Yeah.
And again, I feel bad for the family. You know what I mean? Because they really believe in him, and I get it. It's their family member, but when's enough? You know.
Well, at one time I had like a, something going on with the father because, the father, he was defending him. Yes, I believe that it's good to defend the son, but but sometimes we need to slap a good slap on the hand.
Yeah, exactly.
You're doing
exactly.
bad.
Exactly.
This is bad.
And
and just this thing, never mind, they're just lying, no, I mean, you have to wake up and smell the coffee. I mean.
And it's funny because I thought the same thing today, that how did it get this far? You know what I mean? Like, I understand the whole snow owl thing. I don't agree with it, but I understand. But then, and the judge brought this up, and it is really, it is interesting that you knew you were getting investigated from this whole snow owl thing, and you still do that. That's fearless. That's being fearless and like,
the second time that he actually got arrested
was
because it was a setup.
Yeah.
From the FBI.
Yeah.
and he got and he got arrested again.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, doesn't matter what, he knows that he's been, and if we go even back when was campaigning, okay, and it's videos and interviews with him on TV, even in Providence TV, say no, my opponent, it's lying, when he knew that he already got served.
And I think that's the thing, when you just get out of a trial and you've been convicted of, what was it, 21 charges as opposed to 24, and you say all the truth is going to come out, that really doesn't help you with the prosecutors and the judge. So I think if he would have been more humble, it may have helped him a little bit, to be honest with you. I really do. I think it would have helped him, but I mean, it is what it is,
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I don't hold grudge anybody or anything. Sometimes we go through things that, it's not worth it. For us to, to hold back to somebody or anything like that. Because the situations could move, the table could turn. We are always, we human, we make mistakes too. So, it was bad when he was in power, because he was using that power to benefit who he want to benefit and just to throw rocks to who he want to throw rocks.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, I'm probably one of the people that he throws so many rocks that I could fill a truck. But but it is what it is.
And I think it's kind of what you're probably trying to say, Carlos, is you don't want anything bad to happen to anybody.
No.
Nobody wants any ill will.
No.
But on the other hand, you know what I mean, it gets to a point where you have to say that, you know what I mean, you didn't do the right thing.
Yes.
And you're bringing all these people under, like your, like your family and everything else. And I feel bad really
just
for
the
them.
family. And again, and you are parents, just like me. How many times we see and they're adults, they do their lives. But how many times we feel like that, that we have to advise them. That can go bad. I mean, maybe it's a good idea for you, but me having experience in life, I think that's, on the long run, it's a bad choice that you're going to do. So we always see, as parents, advise them. But they're adults. They make their own decisions. And that's why I don't see the father giving him that advice. When he goes on media and he blames everybody that's lying because his son is the best golden child in the world. You know what I'm saying?
And it's your kid. I just think that, and it is actually surprising with the two parents, because they're both not from this country. I mean, I'm sure they're Americans, whatever, but they're both not from here. That's an American trait, to like spoil your kids. This generation we've spoiled to death, but it's not something that, comes from another country. So that is a little surprising in that sense.
Well, another thing is, somebody just called me that he's been in federal prison. And what he was telling me, Carlos, 6 years. It's like 100 years from the outside world.
Yeah. No, it's
6 years, it's a lot of time.
yeah.
You know, not for us that we wake up and we have our lives
Yeah.
every day,
Yeah.
but somebody in federal prison,
Yeah.
one day is a week.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think 6 years, anything. If somebody
Yes.
told you you had to move to, say, Washington State for 5
So
years,
where you don't want to be,
Yeah.
you know, it's a long time.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
like if I had to be in Portugal for a month,
Yeah.
it would sound like a year to me,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's the same thing. Now, but on the other hand, what he told me was, if he really wants to use this time as a smart
yeah.
and learning something from this experience, he will enroll in school.
Yep.
He will go for higher education because now he has the free time
Yeah.
to do stuff.
Yeah.
So instead of being bad and watching TV and you know, if he actually uses that time
Yeah.
to
It's-
benefit him,
Yeah.
because now he actually can go to college
Yeah.
and you know and will be paid for.
Yeah.
You know, so when he comes out on the other side of this,
Yeah.
remember he has almost $1 million to pay back.
Yeah. That's a lot of money.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
not. I think the 6 years, it's not as bad as
Yeah.
paying back $1 million that you don't have.
Yeah. Well,
So if you're going to have a regular job
Yeah.
and you have to pay back $1 million, you're going to die and you still didn't pay $1 million back.
yeah. No, that's true.
So here's the two things that he needs to think smart and try to jump
yeah.
into the other side. If he uses the 6 years to get a good education,
Yeah.
he's going to come on the other side probably with the possibility to fund a good job,
Yeah.
a good pay job.
Yeah. You
That's
hope.
going to help him. That's
Yeah.
going to help him, you know, paying
Yeah.
the bill
Yeah.
that he owns
Yeah.
when he comes back.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
So-
but it's no, and I agree with you. I think things have. Luckily, things have changed because probably maybe 5-6 years ago, if you had a record, it's very difficult to get a job. Where now we have this whole people are redeemed thing, which is a good thing because people get out of jail, then they can't find a job. What's going to happen? They're going to go back to what they did before. So it is. I think he's got that in his favor. So I wish him well.
Yep.
You know, I wish the family well. But you know what happened was not something good.
Yeah.
You know, and there were. I was surprised the other people didn't get any time. I was really surprised. Maybe because this came on so strong, and then later on you find out. You know what I mean? That people are gonna.
You think that for the fact that lasts this long, that
Yeah.
affected on
Yeah.
the
Exactly.
years that he got?
Yeah. Well, I think with anything, you know, things change. So, and I think every time we have an administration change, things change. So you figure that's the Department of Justice. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe there's a new, you know, we have a new administration in. Maybe they're not as big on this whole crime thing where the past administration was on politicians. So everything changes. I think that may have played a little bit into it. You know what I mean? When you get a new administration in, there's like new marching orders. Every agency has that. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's, and I'm not just saying for his case, for all the cases.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is not what we call, you know, they call the last administration the Law and Order Administration. That's not what they say right now. They're not the, you know what I mean? They even admit it.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me if that had to play, and that was another thing in his favor, you know? So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, for us, 6 years goes fast.
Yeah.
You know,
it's-
for us, outside, 6 years goes fast. Especially now, I mean, we are almost at the end of the year again.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so
No, I hear you.
for us, the years go fast. So probably it's not going to be the last that we're going to hear from Jasiel. He's a smart kid. I never talk that away from him. He's a very smart kid. Probably too smart for his age.
Yeah.
You know, probably if he was if he had become mayor, a little bit more mature, but with the smart that he is, he probably won't be in the situation that he is right now?
I'm not. I don't know that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Either way, I can't say
because
that.
usually when you mature more, when you have more experience in life, you know, I mean, you think twice before you do something, you know. And,
I don't know if that would be the case.
You know.
Because he's at that older age now, and he seemed pretty, you know, as the judge said, he was pretty defiant.
Yeah.
So I don't, you know what I mean? I don't think you change that.
And the remorse,
quick.
it's something that the people was always looking for on him, you know, and
it wasn't there.
Still,
I mean, I listened to part of the trial. Some of the people from the Snow Owl, you know, that the dentist, and then his son, some of the things during the trial, it didn't put him in a good light. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, taking that money from the dentist, and then, you know, befriending his son, and then taking his son out, and some of the things that came out, you know what I mean? It kind of seemed like he was only his friend because he was getting money. And that didn't put him in a good light, just morally, you know what I mean? So a lot of that stuff, if you didn't listen to the whole trial, you know, so it's, like I said, I wish no bad on anybody, but hopefully it's a learning situation for him.
My position didn't change since this whole thing happened.
Yeah.
He was smart, he did stuff, but I have to blame some people around him.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Because some people around him probably set him up for some stuff.
I don't
I mean,
know
he
about
fought for,
Yeah.
but it was a setup because he got elected at 22, I think. 22 or 23.
Yeah.
He didn't know the ring of friends, okay, with money.
Yeah.
It has to be somebody that it's on politics and around that circle that pushed him in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I hear you. However, if you know what I mean, I'm not. You know what I mean. You have to at one point, no matter how old you're, and you're over 22, you have a flyover. When you're over, it was a B. When you're 22, you already know. I'm sure his parents taught him right and wrong.
Yeah.
You know, you're not supposed to, you know, call people in and get hundreds of $1,000s. You know, from these folks, allegedly. I'm sorry. I mean, he was convicted. I guess is it still allegedly?
No, I'm referring more on the city side.
Yeah. Oh, I am too.
On the city side.
I am too.
On the city side, I think that he, his chief of staff, his neighborhood coordinator, arrange a lot of stuff for him.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I do hear you, and part of it is in Fall River politics. We're like going from one person to the next, and people puff you all up.
Yep.
And then, you know, we know, look at a lot of the people that were supporters of Jasiel. Are they supporters anymore? They've actually, you know what I mean, now they've hooked onto somebody else's coattails. So it is kind of hard to know, you know what I mean? But I think he knew, you know what I mean? There's just so many more things. It started with Flanagan. For God's sakes, it started from there, and how this all progressed along the way. You know, and
I think it was a big puzzle.
Yeah.
This game was a big puzzle,
Yep.
a lot of pieces.
Yeah.
And the big piece that got him elected was that piece of the gun with Flanagan.
Yeah.
That was a big piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
That a lot of people that believe him back then, now they don't believe.
But it's funny
they
when
don't
you
believe him.
Yeah, but it's funny because if you watch the trial and you see how people were intertwined. Some of the people that were intertwined with the trial with him, it's just interesting how the whole Flanagan thing played out too. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a Lizzie Borden, but a white collar Lizzie Borden thing,
somebody
right?
said that he the Lizzie Borden after this, the city is going to be recognized by Jasiel, not by Lizzie Borden. But it's the comparison total different.
Yeah.
Thank God that he's not accused of murdering nobody. But
I hear you. I hear you.
So another thing that I would like to go over is election day. So at this today until we still have another 4 hours probably that the polls will be open.
Yeah.
I find that very low turnout so far.
And I think that's going to happen because you have no school committee, no city council race. It's just the mayor. And, you know, there are 4 candidates, but, you know, we can kind of
Yeah,
we
talking
can kind of
about
see that it's going to be two people.
I don't know if you watched the debates,
Yeah.
but I mean, the only two people debating in there was Cliff and Paul.
Well,
because
the other guy,
I think-
Alvarez, did speak.
yeah, but I think he was running for president of the country,
Yeah.
not for city council,
Yeah.
not for
Yeah.
mayor.
No, he
because he's all about the bills of rights and all of that. That comes into
Well, but
not into the city of
no,
Fall River.
but I understand where he was coming from because it starts there. Cities and mayors have put down these mandates that are basically, this is it. You know what I mean? We can implement this, and so I think he took it from there. Mayors can do that. The mayor, like San Francisco, what they've done there, they're pretty much everybody's got to get vaccinated. They had to stay in their houses. Los Angeles was the same way. So mayors do have power. I mean, Mayor Coogan could say right now everybody has to wear a mask in stores, and we're all going to be going back to masks again. So they do have power in that. I understand what you're saying, but I took it as that, and a lot of this stuff going on is taking people's rights away. I understand that, then you have the other side that I want to be protected, but where does it end?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You see.
So I'm going to give you an example. Albernas wins election, and his first order is no more masks. Everybody stops taking the vaccine.
Who's this?
Because it's against our rights.
Who's going to say that?
The Albernas.
Oh yeah,
I'm saying if
yeah.
Albernas
Okay.
wins the
Yeah.
election,
Yeah.
okay, then his first order is everybody don't need masks and stop the vaccine. You think it's a good move?
Well, I think the mask thing is really at his discretion. So, I mean, if you really look at the literature with masks are, 30% effective? But there are people that still get the virus when they wear masks all the time.
Yes.
I wore them all the time when I got it
Yes.
last year. I was always wearing it. But I don't. The
No, but
vaccine,
it's
he doesn't
the
have
point.
jurisdiction.
But
He doesn't have over. A mayor wouldn't have jurisdiction over the vaccine.
Yeah, the health department.
But the
health department.
But
you
I
know,
don't think you could cancel.
this health department that we have now, she don't pick up the phone without the mayor telling her that she can answer the phone. So that's the health department that we have holding right now.
But they do. They are recommending the vaccine. But I think the whole mask mandate, they can do that. Mayors can do that. So
Well, but again, some places, some jobs, they are forcing employees to take the vaccine too.
I get that.
So you can stop that.
Yeah, well, I don't know about the vaccine, but maybe he could as mayor. Yeah, I guess. To me, the line keeps on moving, and I know we're getting off this whole thing with him, but the line keeps on moving. So it started, get your vaccine, you don't have to wear your mask. Then it's keeps on going. Now you get your vaccine, you still have to wear a mask. And then I was reading this the other day on the Massachusetts COVID website. Whenever you listen to the news, it says 99% of the people in the hospital are unvaccinated. When you look at the Massachusetts website, it's been running at 30% of the people in the hospital.
Yeah.
So when people aren't hearing the truth, you know what I mean? Or you're kind of bending this a little bit.
But the things change. Everything changed.
But why would it change, Carlos?
Change because of the situations. As you go through, the situation changes. The data change. The information change. If you decided to fix your bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna change the sink and I'm gonna change the floor.
Yeah.
Okay. But as you take the floor out of the sink, now you need, the wall now needs to be replaced too, because guess what? Now the pipes, it's getting old, so you're going to need to replace the pipe. But before, you didn't want to do that. Yeah. Okay, so situations change.
I understand what you're saying, but I think what's happened in the United States and really across the world is we've become like a nanny state. Everybody wants the government to take care of you. I mean, or to advise you about things. So nobody really is allowed to look at something and make their decision.
This is an American thing, that everybody thinks that, the government is supposed to take care of you.
Well, but I have to say that in Canada and Portugal, people are taking the vaccines there in these different places. Look what's going on in Australia. That you can't even leave your house, for God's sakes. You know what I mean? So I hear what you're saying, but I don't have a problem with people not wearing a mask. That doesn't bother me. But me, am I going to go to a concert? I'm not going to go to a concert with or without a mask. I don't want to be around a lot of people, right now. But if you feel that you can go to a concert and wear a mask, so be it. Feel free. But there are certain things I'm not going to do even with or without a mask.
And we touched that on our last show. At this point, it's like if you want to use a mask, you think you're going to be safer using a mask, feel
so
free.
Be it.
You're not going to offend me because you're talking to me with a mask on. No, it's the way you think that you're going to be safe. Be it. Same thing with vaccines. Right now, whoever wants to get a vaccine, they got a vaccine. Now to give them Stop and Shop cards and to give them, $1 million statewide money for you to get the vaccine.
That's gone. That's going away. A lot of places are mandating.
Make sense.
All the military are being mandated this. And the military, when you're in the military, you're owned by the government. So I get it. But the military is being mandated. All federal employees, no matter where you work, a lot of people now work remotely. No matter where you work, you have to get that vaccine. Most state governments require this. So it's no longer a freedom of choice. You know what I mean? And I go back to that, say, and I'll just take one agency. Say you have 200,000 employees at the VA, and maybe 10,000 of them work at home. Why are you mandating people that work from home? Their explanation was they may meet with the public. That's not true. Or they may be mandated to go back to their offices. Hardly ever that would happen. So it's if we're going to establish things, we need to be consistent with it. So, but there's no longer incentives anymore, and that's even with the feds that give you time off to take your vaccine. Once this mandate is up, once you meet that November date, and the same with the military, I think they're a month behind. Once you meet that date, you either get it or we're going to stop performing discipline on you.
Going from here to the future, probably not until next year, because next year probably we will still be under the rule or the umbrella that you need to be vaccinated. But I will say probably in 2 years, the vaccine was still available, just like shingles or just like, any chicken pox or any other virus. If you want to take it. It will be available if you want to take it. A lot of people are going to take it, yes, like shingles. Since we turned 50, the doctor's been telling us to take we never talk. My wife had it last year. So guess what? Now I had to take it too because, I can get it from her. So I have to get it too. So now every year we go for the shingles. That's one more vaccine that we were not used to.
No, I hear you.
Now it's the flu. It's the shingles, and it keeps adding. Keeps adding. But what I'm going to do? I want to be safe. I want to make sure I'm not going to get that. So I go volunteer.
And you do it.
And take it.
But I think it's with anything, people have to have a choice. It's still America. You know what I mean? People have to have the choice to do what they want. I mean, if this was like when you see Pandemic, you've seen these movies, Pandemic, and we're sitting here right now talking, and 10 people are walking by, and 5 of them drop dead. You know what I mean? I think most people are going to run to the place. You know what I mean? But this is a different kind of. I'm not saying 600,000 people died. That's a bad thing. I get it. But it's like when you look at things, 95% of the people that get it are okay afterward. So I think it's in a different level. So you know what I mean?
Let's back up into 2020, beginning of 2020. When we will start getting the news that people are dropping dead. Okay, on the hundreds a day.
What was happening, Carlos?
Okay.
They were trying to impeach the current president when that was going on in China.
Because it was all fake. It's all fake. People are faking.
All fake?
People. That's what he keep telling on TV. That's all fake. That's all fake. That's all fake news. That's fake news.
I don't have. There are a lot of things that happen in the government that neither of them were taking any, credit
serious.
To this. They weren't taking it serious. People were going to different places. Oh, where you don't have to do this. This was all sides.
I agree with that.
I mean?
But why was so many people dying was because everybody was going his way. It's America. I do what I want. I do what I want. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the reason that a lot of people the dead was high. Because remember, we didn't have a vaccine.
We're going to end with this, is that what people from China were going on vacation all over the world. Italy was affected. Europe was affected. A lot of Chinese tourists, they were letting them go, knowing what was going on. So that was a big contributor to it as well.
Was big mistakes everywhere.
Yeah,
so
that's it.
With that, we're done for another show, and we come back next week, and we're going to talk elections, because in 4 hours we will know the two candidates that's going to go for it in November.
I think we already know.
I'm not sure. I still believe that we have a third candidate that can make it there.
All right.
Very good.
Have a good
See
night.
you guys next week.